you doing? Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. This is Petal. Hope you are having a wonderful, wonderful Saturday. I am doing a recording of this, and I'm going to be posting it in a little bit. But what is going on in the world? But before we get there, welcome again. As you know, we are a channel that's supposed to Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry, Meghan, Archie, Baby Lily, Mama Doria, Poola Guy, the chickens, Mama Mia, all of us here at Sister Squad. Welcome. As you know, we are biased, we are petty, and all of the above, and all the in-betweens, and we are very proud of our pettiness in every single way. We absolutely embrace it. So there. But you will also get some facts along the way. So what is happening in a Sussex world, in royal world? Well, our girl is, I'm hoping, in Montecito, hanging out with some under a tree with a bunch of flowers around her. I decided to bring in some flowers. And this picture, I don't know where this picture came from. It just sort of popped up on Twitter. And I don't know. I was like, I don't know where, if it was a new picture, if it's an old picture. I'm hoping it's not one of those AI pictures, those pictures that they just, artificial intelligence. And so I'm very much against those things. So I'm hoping this is not what this is. But it just kind of popped up on Twitter and I don't know where it's from. And so I don't know if it was something from Clever. I don't know. Somehow I just missed it. But I used it before, and then I was thinking about it. It's like, I don't even know where this picture is from. I've never, I don't know. But it's beautiful, and I thought I'd use it. And, so again, I hope our girl is just at peace. And of course, we are celebrating the fact that she is going to, she's protecting her peace and protecting herself and staying home in Montecito, and she's not going to that sunken place. And protecting her babies away from the nastiness, away from just the toxicity of that, again, that sunken place. It is really sunken. Shutter Island is, and again, I weep for our poor squatties who have to put up with that nonsense on that island. But our girl is going to be safe. She's going to be safe at home with her kids. Lord willing, he protects all of them. I pray also for Harry, who is going over there, and pray that, that his peace is also protected, that even in the middle of that mess and in the middle of that toxic environment, that, whatever peace he's taking with him from Montecito will remain with him until he departs, and get back home to his family. And Lord willing, he gets to do both of it safely, but I am just really enjoying that, our girl is not going to put herself through that mess. And, it is so funny, we're all celebrating this. And I was like, well, people can't change their minds. What I was thinking, I'm like, what would I do if Meghan decides, I'm going to go with my husband and go support my husband? I don't know. I think the whole internet might melt down. But again, people do change their minds. That's fine. If that's what she wants to do, it's her thing. But, there's no, again, there's no indication that that's going to happen. It's just something that I thought of as women. It's like, look, we could change our minds with things. But at the moment, our girl is staying home and protecting her peace. So I am just happy about that. So all of these flowers to our girl, and all of them, to her and Harry and the babies. But right now, we're just talking about her. And one of the things that's happening right now, this guy looked at all of these articles that were published within 24 hours of the world finding out that Meghan is staying home and Harry is going over to the UK. And one of the things that happened is, of course, the feeding frenzy it's like they can't help themselves. There is just literally reporters and editors in the British press are like rabid dogs. I know there's not another way I can, describe them. They're like animals who have not eaten in years. And then the minute they hear something about the Sussexes, it's like a feeding frenzy. I've never seen anything like this. Within a space of 24 hours, the Express alone published 44 articles, majority of which are negative, obviously. 44 articles within 24 hours of this. This is sick. This is so abusive. This is so absolute. I mean, gosh, and obviously we have those in the UK that are, at first they were like, oh, we don't want them here. And now when they find out, that Meghan isn't coming, it's, so then now there's the new attack, it's like they're sort of damned if they do and damned if they don't kind of thing, so now it's like, the attacks on her as to why she isn't going. And I think, sometimes it's good to remind ourselves what happened the last time. It's like, why would Meghan want to put herself anywhere near that disgusting family? Like, why would she want to go anywhere near King Charles? And even the son had this thing, trying to guilt Meghan into coming. It's like, Charles walked you down the aisle. It's a pity you can't, you can't be there for him. Like, when Meghan's dad bolted from the wedding, Charles walked it on the aisle. But, we know that was just to make himself look good. And so that the people, the members of the Commonwealth would, because he's going to be leader of the Commonwealth at the time, the future one. And so he wanted to look good. And so he did it. And so obviously, his ilks in the press are trying to guilt Meghan into like, oh, Charles was there for you. Why can't you be there for him? And so we just have to go back, a few months to September 8th, when the Queen died, to see what happened the last time Meghan had any kind of public anything with the royal family, and what happened when the Queen died. And yes, we remember this quite clearly. When the Queen, when word had come down that she was, definitely declining rapidly, and that Harry, and Charles called Harry, and Harry, people were asking, are you going to go? Are you going to go to Balmoral? So Harry's people Harry and Meghan through their team put out that they were both going to go, to see her before she passes. They were in UK. Again, they didn't travel there for this. They were in the UK already doing Invictus stuff. Meghan was doing the One Young World. They had just come back from Dusseldorf promoting the 1 year to the Invictus Games. And so they were doing all that stuff. And that night, September 8th, they were supposed to go to the Well Child Awards. And then the Queen, we know on September 8th, the Queen passed away. So just before she passed, Meghan and Harry were getting ready to go to Balmoral to bid farewell to the Queen. And then what happens? King Charles decides he is going to put his foot down and no, Meghan is not. Well, this is what they said. And not only was he nasty to her, they went ahead and leaked it to the press because they wanted the world to know how much Meghan is not welcomed. And as Cosmo said, King Charles reportedly made it very, very clear Meghan would not be welcome at Balmoral Thursday. Page 6, this is on the 10th, writing about the same thing. King Charles allegedly told Harry not to bring Meghan to Balmoral. The Daily Mail, they were on that story and they were just, they were reporting it with such glee. Charles told Prince Harry not to bring Meghan to Balmoral to see dying Queen. Inside a half hour of frantic discussions triggered when the incredulous aides heard via media that the Sussexes were both coming before clarification the Duke would travel alone. And then, of course, they wrote several articles about how Meghan was banned and shunned, and the Queen didn't want her. King Charles didn't want her there at the time, or at least Prince Charles then. The Mirror chimed in. Harry told by Charles, Meghan not welcome at Balmoral to see dying Queen. It's just like all of this stuff. King Charles reportedly told Harry, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle was not welcome at Balmoral. This is to see a dying woman, the only person Meghan actually, had any kind of relationship with other than Harry and that family was the Queen. And, it was so sick and petty and just so cruel. And not only did he do it, but then they leaked it to the press so that the world knows that Meghan isn't wanted. And these are the same people now who are attacking Meghan for not wanting to be around them. They were gleefully reporting this stuff. They were so excited. Oh, we could kick her to the curb. We could shun her. We could do all of those things. Yet now these are the same people that are angry that Meghan decided to, you know what? I know my worth, and I'm going to I'm going to be around people who, respects me, who people who value me, people who are respectable, people who are not cruel, people who are kind. Why would Meghan, after all this, not even a year ago, why would Meghan want to put herself through this mess to go back to be among? I mean, we saw the funeral. We saw how they just completely just shunned her, and we saw what the press did to her, just holding her husband's hand. We saw what they did. The whole world watched as they did while they were supposed to be mourning the Queen. They spent the entire time attacking a woman who did nothing to them, who said nothing to them, who was literally there minding her business. So then why should Meghan want to go back there? And so and after this happened, obviously, this happened, as we can see, September 2022, this all happened. And then so when Harry released his book this year in January, Harry wrote about this. And I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. And so actually, hang on. I'm going to move my banner. So if you're new here, definitely go ahead and subscribe and click the notification bell so you know when we drop a video. And please like and share this video, and we will come back to it later. Let's get this a little bit. I'm going to move myself. There we go. Make this a little bit bigger so we can read it. So in Spare, Harry talked about the same situation. He talked about the same thing, the events as it was happening to them. And this is what Harry wrote about it. He said the next day, this is after they had just come back from Dusseldorf promoting the 1 year to the Invictus. He said the next few days were given over to a whirlwind work trip. Manchester, Dusseldorf, then back to London for Well Child Awards. But that day, September 8, 2022, a call came in around lunchtime. Unknown number. Hello? It was Pa. Granny's health had taken a turn. She was up at Balmoral, of course. Those beautiful, melancholy late summer days. He hung up and had many other other calls to make. And I immediately texted Willie and asked whether he and Kate were flying up. If so, when and how? No response. Meg and I looked up flight options. The press started phoning, and we couldn't delay a decision any longer. We told our team to confirm we'd be missing the Well Child Awards and hurrying up to Scotland. Then came another call from Pa. He said I was welcome at Balmoral, but he didn't want her. He started to lay out reasons, which was nonsensical and disrespectful. And I wasn't having it. Don't ever talk about my wife that way. He stammered, apologetic, saying he simply didn't want a lot of people around. No other wives were coming. Kate wasn't coming, he said. Therefore, Meg shouldn't. Then that's all you needed to say. And, Harry, talks about other things that around that time as well, including the fact that William never responded, and then they went off to Balmoral without him. And this was Charles. He didn't want her. And Harry didn't say exactly what he told him, but we do know that it was nonsensical, according to Harry, and disrespectful, where Harry had to put his foot down and said, don't you ever speak about my wife that way. This is who they want Meghan to go to. Meghan would have known what Charles said. This is who they want to go to be quote unquote, honoring somebody on their coronation. Why would Meghan want to be around this person, far less going to his coronation, when she couldn't even go to a person that he refused to allow her or welcome her to go to when the Queen passed away. So Harry had to go all by himself. And we know William went off without him, even though they had a private jet. And so this is, every time I read this, I get angry. Because people want to keep this memory of Charles walking Meghan down the aisle, but Charles changed. He changed because Meghan was more popular. She was getting the press he wanted. So therefore she became an enemy to him. And so it's just like, no, we glad Meghan is not going. We want her to stay in California, protecting her peace away from this mess. Imagine talking to a man about his wife, being disrespectful to a man's wife, to his face. And it's just like, are you serious? That is a kind of disrespect that they have for Harry, that they feel that it's okay to disrespect his wife while talking to him. And it's unbelievable to me. And so for all of you who are upset Meghan is staying home, oh, please. Y'all should be happy that Meghan is a classy person, that she didn't cuss out Charles or something, or she hasn't written about exactly what he said, or Harry hasn't put exactly what disrespectful thing Charles said. You better be lucky. You better be happy, because Harry could have outed him and say exactly what he said. But Harry didn't. Maybe he will if that other book ever comes out. Anyways, moving on. I love this so much. There are a couple of articles that came out that really celebrating Meghan not going and celebrating her protecting her peace. And I loved it. I enjoyed it so much. And one of them is from I guess it's independent. I don't know the magazine, but it's from It says, snubbing King Charles' coronation is Meghan Markle's smartest move yet. By staying at home, people in the media who hate her will lose out the most. And just a couple of clips of the article, it says, she made the right decision in my eyes, and the reaction has proved her instincts correct. The criticism ranged from crocodile tears headlines like, the king was there for you. That's the article I was talking about from The Sun. The king was there for you. So sad you can't make it for him. To people calling her selfish, gutless, rude, and the rest. But by deciding not to go, Meghan has sent a powerful signal that she wants to be in control and can claim one small victory against the detractors in the British press. The great irony is that the people in the media who hate her the most will lose out the most by her staying home. That is reason enough to stay home. Think of all the money the paper and the stations who loathe her most will lose out on, because the hatred she attracts, their hatred of her, this should say, really, because she doesn't attract hate. Their narrative of her is what attracts hate. Makes them cold, hard cash. I'm surprised they haven't clubbed together to start a GoFundMe to get her over there. The thing the most people, and so it talks about that, all the different press and their attitudes and how much they're going to lose out. And that's why they're weeping, because of the money they had planned to get and to earn, especially those advertiser dollars and all of that stuff and all the clicks, because their narrative of her just generates so much hate. They were looking for those clicks. They want it. And that's why they're angry. And I love her. Yeah, she says, I'm surprised they haven't clubbed together to start a GoFundMe page to get her over here. Obviously, that's a British reporter writing this. One of the things it says as well, it says the thing that most people can't get their heads around is that most people would do anything to be part of the elite circle. A good friend chided me about them. Why can't they just suck it up for all the money and the parties? And that's what people find mind-boggling, especially about her, that she would get the golden ticket into a world of wealth and status and privilege and choose to walk away. Who does that? And that's what a lot of people are jealous about, because Meghan had everything that they had dreamed of their entire lives. And she says, you know what? I don't want this. This is not worth it. I'm leaving. And women, can't wrap it around. I mean, they would sacrifice, they would suck it up and take the abuse just to be able to be in those circles, because that's the most important thing to them. And what they don't realize is that that's just like, a big fish in a small pond, but put them on the worldwide stage, they don't mean a whole lot. Meghan is from a bigger world, and she sees that nonsense for what it is, and therefore she doesn't have to tolerate it. And she knows her self-worth. She doesn't have to tolerate nonsense from these people, and she doesn't. And that's a big thing. That's a big thing where a lot of women, especially white UK women, who have they dreamt all their life to be a princess and to live in a castle and to be among William and Charles and the Queen and stuff like that. And that's been their dream. And here comes this biracial divorcee from America. And she's like, yeah, okay, that's nice. But no, thank you. I'm going home. And they just can't wrap their minds around it. So they hate her because she is living their dream and then shunned it because these people are horrible. They're royal. She has completely upended the royal narrative, and they hate her for it because she basically killed their fairy tale. And that's why they hate her. Another article from Grazia actually says, we're here for Meghan making decisions that are empowering to her. While some have condemned Meghan, viewing the choice as a snub against His Majesty, others have a more empathetic take. Meghan is taking back control. How empowering for Meghan Markle to say no to Britain's most powerful family. Dr. Shola Shogbamimo, author of This Is Why I Resist, a family that held her in contempt and constantly fed her to the vultures. Any wife with bad in-laws know that she just took back control. I'm here for Meghan, not giving a darn what anyone thinks. I'm here for her too, and most women are, especially away from the pond. They're still trying to cope. And a little bit other part says, for those of us who have found that particularly difficult, be it due to basically they're talking about relationship with in-laws. For those of us who have found that particularly difficult, be it due to cultural divide, communication, differences of boundaries, overstepped, it is all too familiar, that feeling of relief when you finally decide to prioritize your happiness and put the demands or desires of your partner's in-laws second. And yes, I have no in-laws, but I can imagine how gratifying it must be for Meghan to be like, you know what, Harry, I love you, but they're your family. You go. I'm staying away. I don't want to be part of this. So kudos to her. So happy Meghan is at peace. Girl, I'm telling you, I am all for her taking back her power and not feeling like she has to be among those people. And the power it is, because so many people in the UK would have died for tickets to go to the coronation, to be among royalty, to be among the so-called elite, even though they are cesspool, toxic in every way, and, basically are Shutter Island inmates. They would do anything because for them, that is the greatest thing ever. And they can't understand a woman who's like, yeah, no, thank you. I'd rather not. They can't wrap their minds around it. So anyways, I think all of us here at the squad, very happy. I know some people are not happy with Harry and, disappointed that he's going. Wherever you are with it, we all have different feelings about it. But and I know we're all just happy that Meghan is protecting her peace, staying under her tree, doing whatever she's doing in Montecito. May it stay exactly that way. So there you go. Moving on. So we're going to stay in Shutter Island for a bit because some things are happening over there. You're like, wait a minute, really? What is going on with these people? So this popped up. The Guardian has been doing a whole bunch of, articles about just the mess in the royal family, whether all the things that they're trying to hide. We talked about the money and all of that stuff that they've been hiding from people and to the point where Queen even had, like, she lobbied Parliament for where she could get an exemption where she can hide her money, so people don't know all the billions that she has. And so she was granted that, and all their wills are sealed for 99 years, so nobody knows what is up with their money. And so we talked a little bit about that. There are a lot more articles about it that are, as the time goes on, I'll pull in more. But this popped up a couple days ago with those jewelry, all of those jewelry that they claim were gifts from colonized islands, colonized countries. Yes, some of them as well. But it says official jewelry gifts to royal worth 80 million are not in the National Archives. Palace refusing to explain why official state gifts worn by the Princess of Wales, Kate Middleton, and Camilla are not in the royal collection. Buckingham Palace is refusing to explain why 11 pieces of jewelry, potentially worth 80 million pounds, that were official gifts to the royal family, are not in the Trove of National Heritage. The jewels, which have been worn by Queen Elizabeth II, Camilla and the Queen Consort, and Catherine, Princess of Wales, are not contained in the royal collection. The custodian for the culturally significant items held in trust for the nation, the pieces include a set of aquamarine jewelry, 4 brooches, 6 necklaces, including the extraordinary Cartier necklace of emerald, a brilliant cut diamond worth at least 40 million, given to the late Queen by the Indian prince when India was colonized. Therefore, I don't look at that as a gift at all. You're getting it from a colonized country. Thieving! Anyways, it goes on. Another part of the article says the frame. Oh, wait. Hang on one second. Oh, I think the second part of my thing is actually accidental. I think I made a mistake with the second part. Ignore the second part. But the whole thing is Kate and Camilla and the late Queen have worn these jewelry that was supposed to be part of the national, in the National Heritage, Trove of National Heritage, as it's called. It's supposed to be in the collection where they have like all the jewelry and stuff. Where if the thing is, if like a head of state, for example, a king, they would come and present an official gift. Usually, say, for example, they come from the Middle East, they will always come with jewelry, whether it's earring or brooch or tiaras or whatever. A lot of those are from those same Middle East countries. Those are supposed to go in the royal collection where it's for the state or the country. It is not supposed to be for the Queen or Camilla, or, they can borrow it, but they have to put it back because it doesn't belong to them. Well, 11 pieces are missing, and nobody seems to know where it is, and why it is not there. And the second part, I accidentally put in the wrong clip there at the bottom. What it is, like, they were trying to get why those 11 pieces are not in, they're not part of the royal collection. And I guess a Scotier was like, well, it'll get there eventually. I'm like, I know, and my thing about it too, they're like, where are these jewelry? And I'm thinking, like, what, if you ask anybody, any country that was colonized by the UK, they will tell you right away what happened to that jewelry, because what happened to those colonized countries' jewelry? Where did they end up? Yeah, we know. So I can tell you right away what happened to that jewelry, and also we know when, whether those specific 11 pieces were part of this. I mean, I don't know jewelry, so I wasn't paying attention to what they were specifically wearing, but we know when the Queen died, Camilla and Kate started wearing her jewelry. And so I don't know if what they wore so far were part of that 11, but they basically raided this dead woman's jewelry box and were wearing all of these jewelry. So I would say, go look in Kate Middleton's jewelry box or Camilla's jewelry box. You may just find those 11 pieces. Now I have no evidence that they took it. and they're hiding it, but it ain't where it's supposed to be in the royal collection. That's where it's supposed to be. That is supposed to be protected for the country. It's not there. And why is it not there? Inquiring minds want to know. And so, Queen Camilla, Kate, I think y'all got some splaining to do. That's what I say. And another thing that's happened is stamps. Who knew that they, again, the jewelry was like 80 million pounds, estimated 80 million pounds worth. Apparently the royal family has a stack of, stamps that is worth millions of pounds. Who knew? Rare stamps. Apparently one king, but back in the day, had this thing about stamps, and he was collecting stamps. And so the Guardian had another article about these missing stamps. Yeah, they're missing jewelry and stamps. Mint collection is historical Canadian stamps, and a rare set of Laos were given to the royals as estate gifts. The royal family appears to have appropriated 2 sets of stamps that were official state gifts. That's right, official state gifts. That's supposed to be in their personal property. Incorporating them into an extraordinary, valuable private stamp collection that King Charles inherited from his mother. The gift, a mint collection of historical Canadian stamps and a rare set of stamps from Laos, were formally given to the royal family as state gifts, not personal gifts, but state gifts. They appear to have been subsumed into the Royal Philatelic Collection, a private trove of rare stamps estimated to be worth at least 100 million pounds. 100 million pounds. You can see the picture on the side there with these stamps that the Queen Betty is looking at over there. The private acquisition raised further questions about whether the royal family is abiding by the letter of or spirit of guidelines that prohibit official gifts being treated as private property. That's right. These stamps, these rare stamps valued at 100 million pounds, are state gifts. That means it's supposed to be, the royal collection, where is for the country. The royal family has taken the stamps and put it as part of their personal possessions, so that when the Queen passed on, King Charles inherited this 100 million pound stamp collection. That is not his. It is not his. It is a state gift. Remember how they had this huge thing with Meghan and those earrings from SVJ or SVG, whatever his name is, that Saudi king that killed the reporter. And they had all this thing about Meghan and this. If Meghan had worn any of those jewelry, imagine the headlines that would be there. No one other than The Guardian has been reporting about this. No one other than The Guardian has been reporting about these rare stamps. It's like everyone else has been silent, and it's just like, it's incredible. I'm like, are you serious? These people, and if they could do this with the stamps, like instead of it being in the royal collection where it's supposed to be, and they have taken it as personal possession, what are the chances that this jewelry, the 11 pieces that's supposed to be in the royal collection, what are the chances that they have done the same thing with these jewelry and co-opted it as their personal items instead of a state gift, which means it's supposed to be for the country and not for their personal use, and it's just like, and nobody is talking about it other than The Guardian. And so I appreciate them outing this, because again, missing jewelry worth estimated 80 million pounds and $100 million of rare stamps that was supposed to be for the people of the UK is now the personal possession, and nobody could explain why this is the personal possession when it's a state gift. Again, the stamps are worth at least 100 million pounds. So basically, the royal family had ownership of 180 million pounds of stuff that is not theirs, that is supposed to be for the nation. And again, not only that, they are now in the middle of preparing for coronation, which is, they are costing British taxpayers almost 100 million pounds, including another 8 million so that they can, King Charles could have his portrait sent to schools of poor people who can't afford to feed their family and poor kids who can't afford meals, So this, I mean, it's unbelievable. But anyways, what else is there? Yes, Rupert Murdoch. Switch things up a little bit. He is going through some things, which I'm happy about. He needs to go through some things. Regulators filing in News Corp UK newspaper subsidiary show the cost of the phone hacking scandal, now starring Prince Harry, has crossed the 1 billion mark. So yes, all those phone hacking settlements, all those lawsuits that he has to settle and go to court and all the court fees, it has crossed the £1 billion mark. It is a big breakthrough for News Corp over the Easter, with regulatory filings of its UK newspaper subsidiary showing the cost of the phone hacking scandal starring Prince Harry crossed the 1 billion mark, almost $2 billion at the current exchange rate. The figure offers some context to the high-profile US $1.6 billion claim from Dominion Voting Systems, which starts hearing in the US next Monday, along with a claim from Smartmatic for $2.7 billion. Yes, News Corp is going through something. Dominion is suing them for 1.6 because they claim that Dominion voting machine is what cost Trump the election, and so Dominion is suing them. And I mean, I'm telling you, Fox is going through some things. They are liars, scammers in every sense of the word. And then, again, apart from the phone hacking stuff that's in the UK, I mean, they have had to pay out, and they are having to pay out billions of dollars for what it is. And my thing is, take out News Corp. News Corp should not exist. As long as their existence, whatever country Rupert Murdoch's News Corp is in, democracy will fall. U.S. democracy is holding on by the tip of his fingers. Because of what this man has done, they need to take him out. They need to take out his company and deport him if necessary because of what he has done to this country. It is despicable. And look at what he's done to Australia and the UK. This man's company should not be in existence. So hopefully this will, I mean, I don't know what they, how much money they have, whatever, but I hope this will bankrupt them in some ways. Anyways, moving on from Rupert Murdoch's misery, back to our faves. Back to our fave Meghan, and we just think of the poem Breathe. She sat at the back, and they said she was shy. She led from the front, and they hated her pride. They asked her advice, and they questioned her guidance. They branded her loud, then were shocked by her silence. When she shared no ambition, they said she was sad. So she told them her dreams, and they said she was mad. They told her they'd listened, and they covered their ears and gave her a hug while they laughed at her fears. And she listened to all of it, thinking she should be the person they told her to be as best as she could. But one day she asked what was best for herself instead of trying to please everyone else. And I'm just going to stop there because I love this. And I wanted to use this poem because it's like, I could just imagine Meghan, in this moment, just, what is best for everyone and what's best for Harry and what's best for his family and the relationship with his family and all of that stuff. And then taking a moment to just like, what is best for me? What is the thing that I want? What's best for me? And focusing on that. And, allowing herself to take a minute and deciding, as much as I love my husband and as much as I love to support his family and his relationship, with his family and all of that stuff, I'm going to just take this time for me. And I'm going to decide for me what is best for me. And I love that. I absolutely love that. I just imagine Meghan in this moment decided, what? I'm just going to go. This is my time where I'm going to go out in that forest. The poem talks about the forest. I'm just going to go out in the forest and hang out with the trees and the willows and let the forest whisper to me, and just be out here under my tree in silence and let, Shutter Island do what it does. And I'm going to just stay here in silence. And that's how I imagine it. And I just imagine this moment as a time for Meghan just to breathe, just to breathe and focus on, what is best for me? I'm just going to protect my peace. I'm just going to stand in my strength. I'm going to be standing here and allowing, and not allowing others to dictate. I mean, not that she allowed people to dictate things, but stuff has happened where she has had to respond. And I love the place of power that she's in, where she doesn't have to react, but she can act in a way that is best for her and her family. And so I love it. I love this so much. And I'm like, kudos, Meghan, for so many people have taken courage from this and are really applauding her. Because again, so many people want to be among royalty. And she's like, nope, thank you, but no thank you. So kudos to our fave. Kudos to her just protecting her peace. And may it always be that way. Anyway, guys, that's it. That's all I got to share. Thank you to our awesome moderators, Lydia, Church, Nelly, Karen, and Cookies and Cream, for always being just amazing in every way. And I just appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much. And this is just going to be a video, so there's not going to be a live chat on this. But for all the times you do it, I appreciate you. Thank you to our 2 Cents Crew members who support the channel on a monthly basis. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for financially supporting the channel. And, that helps me to be able to do the things that I need to do to get the podcast out. So thank you so much to all of you. I appreciate you. Thank you to our Gold Star supporters who support. You see in the chat for the super thanks, super stickers, super chats, those straight up donations. Thank you all so much for that. I appreciate every single one of you and the support that you have given to the channel. Thank you to all of you. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much. I will most likely be seeing you tomorrow with a live chat tomorrow. Today I am in between my job, so I thought I'd get a little bit of a podcast. So anyway, have a fantastic day. If you're new here, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Please click the notification bell so you know when we drop a video. Please like and share the video. And please join the channel 2 Cents Crew if you're able. So thank you, everyone. And I love you guys. And I will see you next time. Bye. Thank you.